So hey there guys, Do the Dutch here, and well, I decided to show some League of Legends stuff. This is a game from a while back to point out some of the things that can actually, well, kind of froze the whole balance of the game. Well, not the balance, but kind of froze the whole point that doesn't matter how far you are ahead, you can still lose, and that you actually don't need a large margin to stay ahead to actually win. So basically now, of course, as you can expect, as always, we're setting up our teams. We've got, well, our mid laner is Lux, which is this guy. This is one of our team members. We are comprised of at least three pre-mates, which is me as Hecarim on top lane, Lux on mid lane, and a Twitch on bot lane as the AD carry. So what else have we got? We also have, of course, as the support. These two are also pre-made. You can pretty much see that in their names. We've got our Sona, who's playing the support, and we've got Fiddlesticks, who's playing a really good jungle during this game. Their team comprises of a Jungle Yi, a Fizz mid laner, a Vayne AD carry, a Nidalee support who is still sitting in the base, and a Kha'Zix top lane. So this game throws into a lot of, well, not unexpected surprises, but you can sometimes see exactly what you can find during games that can sometimes surprise you. We, of course, have a very good sustainable lane with a lot of control because, well, we've got Lux with her vines and the slow. We've got two Fears, one with an AoE effect, which is, of course, Hecarim's ultimate, and then, of course, there's, of course, Fiddlesticks with his directed Fear. We've got an AoE stun, which is, of course, Sona's, and we've got our major damage dealer, which is Twitch. Also, Lux is dealing out quite a bit of damage here. So yeah, their team comprises, of course, out of three primary damage dealers, with one from a long-range sniping capability, which is, of course, Nidalee, and then three damage dealers, which are Yi, Vayne, and, well, Fizz. Fizz is the biggest concern during this game. So yeah, that happened. Our jungler got a bit disconnected. He came back, and when he came back, he never got disconnected again, and he pretty much helped us go through this game. It's mostly because, of course, we now have two who can work in synchron, who can really combine their ultimates to make for a very powerful engagement, which is, of course, Fiddlesticks' ultimate and Hecarim's ultimate, because Hecarim's ultimate is, of course, this isn't very effective. So yeah, we just picked up the first blood on bot lane. It was just that the Vayne was overextended like hell. She already proclaims Twitch is OP, which is complete bullshit if you ask me. He's not OP at all. That's my honest opinion, at least. And to be honest, though, the Nidalee of this game isn't very good at throwing spears, too. So you might be wondering, why Hecarim top? Because I kind of like Hecarim. He's got a very good, effective sustainability and high damage output, and he's a great initiator with his ultimate. You can just charge in there, fear the crap out of the whole team, and then your team can come in and start ripping their faces off, basically. Also, Hecarim, of course, doesn't necessarily need lifesteal. I build him with an item in mind that does have that, but during the team fight, hold on to your Spirit of Dread until the team fight comes out big, because then, of course, you can gain the massive damage, the most regaining of health, because basically the Spirit of Dread causes that you regain health. 20% of the damage is dealt within the Spirit of Dread area. So the more damage is dealt within Spirit of Dread, the more health you gain back. And this is not just the damage that you deal, this is the damage that is done overall. Just a quick thing, I think yeah, high frame rate, so that shouldn't be a problem. But back to the point. So yeah, we got the first blood on bot lane, but thanks to our AD carry. Unfortunately, Lux does get ripped to pieces here by Fizz. As has always been known, Fizz is extremely annoying. You need to lock him down badly to kill him. You just can't get a good fix on him, because he can just bounce around like a prepubescent and kid. It's just annoying. You can dodge just about everything. It's like he has his own personal Sonya's hourglass with him, and it allows him to leap a couple of miles ahead as well. This is complete bullshit. So the top lane is doing fine. Hecarim, of course, has a very effective way of dishing out damage because of his rampage ability, which is just this small AoE cleave ability, which hits all enemies within a short distance of Hecarim. So if you can just get up close, that the enemy isn't focusing on you, you just can keep spamming and spamming and spamming that thing until they, while whittling away their health. Kha'Zix, of course, only has one form of regaining health if he doesn't have lifesteal. Same thing counts for me. I only have a little bit of lifesteal in this item build, in my rune build that I've got, and only one item that actually regains health. As I said, Spirit of Dread should be what gives you back your sustainability, and not much else, because basically you need to rely on that. In this time, I was still working out a good top lane build for Hecarim. It's kind of difficult because I've had a very hard time trying to get a good Hecarim build off, mostly because every time I ever faced off against a top laner, it was always someone with an advantage in ranged, which is something that Hecarim is extremely difficult. He's very good at initiating fights, but he's not very good at laning in fights necessarily on the aggressive side, because if you're facing it against someone who can rely quite a bit on ranged, you're pretty much out of your element, because you've only got one thing that can really close the distance, which is Devastating Charge, but that's not even it's not even like a dash, or like as it says, it's charge. It's a speed boost that increases over time, and of course does more damage, more distance you've traveled while you've had it on the first enemy target you hit. It's also a small little kind of like, it's a knockback, but it seems to act as a form of a stun, I'd say. It's effective, but I wouldn't rely too much on it during an initiate. It's a good way to, for example, if the enemy's trying to get away, or if he's trying to move in for a position, or just overall just do a little bit of extra damage, because Devastating Charge is based on physical damage, while same thing counts for Rampage, while Spirit of Dread and Onslaught of Shadows are completely based on magic damage. So you need to know how to do what and when. So the fights are still going quite the same. As you can see, we're not even ahead in gold. We're pretty much we are equal. Nobody's ahead. It's kind of what you can expect. There's a lot of warding going on in this game, which actually shows that that the entire team, our team, also theirs, but more ours, is showing a great level of competence, and the map awareness did help quite a bit. So yeah, Yi jungle. What is this Yi good at? This Yi, to be honest, just primarily just Yi throughout the entire design of League of Legends is built for one thing, which is backdoor. It's all that Yi is really effective of in the entirety of the game. If he's AP Yi, go pure backdooring. So Fiddlesticks tries to get away. He flashes, so does Yi, and Yi kills him. It's unfortunate, but it can happen. He also has an Everest Blade, which does give him some extra more gold over time, as well as, of course, for every creep he kills. So, quickly back, I'm of course talking about the game, but also a bit about my Hecarim top lane build. So, like I said, Hecarim is not very effective against champions who at least have an ability they can constantly use for ranged capabilities. So, Gangplank, you're screwed. Kayle, you're going to have a hard time fighting that. Kayle is capable of being taken down in the early game stages, especially actually in level 1 or 2, because then she probably doesn't have either. She might have the Reckoning, which is that powerful slow effect, that powerful damage and slow. Or, of course, she already has the Flaming Sword. In my case, it's a different sword because I got that Aetherwing skin. But the fact is that you need to have some sort of good way of course, getting within range. We just lost our support here. That's a bit unfortunate. But, so, like I said, Hecarim's only form of a quick gap closer is his ultimate, but it's not that spammable, of course. It's got quite a bit of a cooldown, so the most important thing is never ever to rely on it, because it pretty much is just too unreliable. Always, if possible, save up that ultimate for the initiation of a team fight, because you can completely disorganize the entire team with a single charge, because of the damage isn't that high, but the AoE fear that comes along with it, which lasts for a second, can be quite effective. So this Yi is not doing the best jungling job. The biggest reason for that is because I first thought Yi would be an effective jungler because he's quick and that sort of thing, but he's actually not the best, because He's actually the kind of jungler that will keep stealing all the farms and all the kills because the only form that he can get quickly within range is either is a combination of both his ultimate and his Q, which is of course Alpha Strike, which is that ridiculous kind of bouncing charge ability, or just his Alpha Strike, which just makes it completely bullshit. He doesn't have any form of CC, he doesn't have no snares, no stuns, no slows. He's basically worthless for crowd control. He's pure damage based. All of his abilities, almost free of four of his abilities, are based on this. So we're setting up a nice little gank here on Kha'Zix. He's unaware of it, of course, because of lack of warding. Fortunately, Fizz does join in on this party. Our Lux does show up to help. We tear apart Kha'Zix. Fizz realizes that he's out of his game and he needs to flee. This is when Yi shows up. I decided to recall here. I wasn't sure what happened to Phil, so we'll keep a little eye on that. So what else can you expect? So he's doing a little bit of extra damage on Fizz. Yi doesn't see, apparently just already immediately gives up on the initiation on Fiddle and just focuses on farming. This is when we pick up the kill on Fizz, as you can see. Bye-bye, Fish Boy. So, the one thing that this friend, of course, is one that I've played multiple games with, who is an extremely effective AD carry. He's one of the best I still know. He's very good with Twitch, and Twitch is a very, very nasty AD carry because of his passive, which is this deadly venom thing, which basically this dot that he places on enemy targets with basic attacks, and it stacks up to, what is it, 6 times or something? Yeah, 6 times, and it's true damage, so there's no form of resisting it, so it basically turns you into a dangerous damage over time thing. So it's going quite well. We're equal in gold and kills. Turrets as well. There's been no turrets push. We do get, this swings both ways in certain ways, because to be honest, though they have quite a bit of damage, what they actually lack is some form of coordination. They seem, especially the G, who constantly goes out to the lane while there's preparations for team fight, and then completely goes for a back door, and then the entire team gets murdered. So Vayne got lucky there, thanks to the damn potion. Nidalee got greedy and got killed by the rat. Yeah, Nidalee, you were doomed from the start. So, yeah, as you can expect, this is unfortunately where it turns into a double kill for Yi. This is unfortunate, but I guess there's not much you can do about it. It just kind of happens. It's unavoidable sometimes. So, I engage Kha'Zix here. This turns, unfortunately, not in my favor. I use his ultimate, I use my ultimate, I use his, he uses his. He comes out on top. I do take a little bit of payback later on, showing that one-on-one, full health, him also at full health, I tear him to pieces. But we'll see that later. At the moment, we'll keep an eye on Fizz, who is, as you can see, being a little bitch, just pushing and smacking minions around. To be honest, though, Fizz has always been considered. At least 2 of us, which is Lux and me, have always hated Fizz for one reason alone. It's because of the ridiculous amount of mobility this little bastard has, and the fact that he has an ability which causes that he goes stand on his damn trident, which makes him untargetable, and he doesn't take damage from anything. So he can basically just, it's basically, and the most ridiculous thing is when if he wants to get off, he can jump a few distances away, so he could just get the hell out of there. It's a fucking Zonian with a flash built into it. So luckily he misses his ultimate there, which is a good thing. That ultimate is another one that I think is completely ridiculous. He throws a fish at an enemy champion, which slows them. Their movement speed is slowed by 70%. And then of course there is and then after the shark tries to eat you, you are slowed again for 70%. So we kill Vayne here. Fiddle gets the kill. We don't mind because, well, there would have been a risk that Twitch would have gotten killed if he tried to engage. The good thing is, though, our Twitch is on the Bloodthirster now. And Vayne's only got a BF sword and a longsword. So we're pretty much going well on bot lane. We're now ahead in a kill. But we're not that far ahead in gold. We still haven't picked up a dragon once. And, well, basically, killings have been going a bit in equal measure. This is when the engagement, when Kha'Zix thought, I could take this bastard on. Yeah. Your biggest mistake. Because I have a Sheen. Which causes that when I keep spamming Rampage, I do, with my next basic attack, do some bonus damage. Bye-bye, Kha'Zix. So, yeah, I did survive it by the skin of my teeth, but I survived and I got a little bit of payback. And I love my horrible, deadly Centaur of Doom from hell. So we just wrecked their bot lane turret, which was well good. They've been pushed a bit into a defensive position. And, well, we're starting to look up a bit, but as you can see, we are ahead in 1k gold, but this once again gets rectified a little later on by their team. Thanks to some, I wouldn't say poor initiations, it's just that their damage team does have a quite strong damage output that gives them the disadvantage. So Yi shows up. Unfortunately, well, okay, I correct myself. Fortunately, Twitch was able to get into his cloaking state, which allowed him to survive. This is unfortunately when Fizz tears them both apart because of him being OP. Well, actually only Twitch. But this shows exactly how nasty. You could say Fizz is for burst damage, and that may be true, but it's that damn jump of his that exact ability is what makes him an extremely ridiculous and a bit OP, in my honest opinion. I don't say that quite quickly, but there is something that's just ridiculous about him. He has far too much capabilities. I mean, he's got a dash, he's got the damage over time effect, he's got the stupid bouncy thing. So, now Fiddlesticks makes another good engagement. I'm not sure if we do. Never mind, we did. So I'm having a little party here again with Kha'Zix, but apparently Kha'Zix didn't enjoy the party, so he just left. And he's hoping that he gets in position for Yi to do something. Unfortunately, I'm not that stupid most of the time, and I don't fall for that. As you can see now, we're getting a little bit ahead. It's not by much though. As you can see, we're not even ahead by 1k gold. Only half of it. That was nice from Lux. Unfortunately, this turns into a massacre for her now. Getting shot down by Vayne. To be honest, it was a bit of a kill steal. She only applied one basic in that ultimate form of hers. And Fiddlesticks unfortunately got completely wrecked by 3 guys. So now our bot lane's on our way. I decided to actually ignore mid lane entirely and decided to go directly for trying to tear through that turret as quickly as possible. Because thanks to Sheen, of course, every time when I spam Rampage, it triggers and my next basic attack does bonus damage, which also applies to turrets. So I can tear through turrets quite quickly. As you can see right here. Kha'Zix tries to move in for a gank. Luckily, I still have one little thing I can use to escape, which is Devastating Charge. Even slowed, you do not stop this guy that easily. I didn't decide to engage because I wouldn't have won that, so I just decided to get the hell out of there. I do stick around, but I need to be careful. Then I do decide to recall, of course, because, well, the turret was pushed and there was no danger of it being my turret being pushed anytime soon. So yeah, let's see what so our Lux is of course doing what some people consider a bit of a weird build, which is building a Lich Bane on Lux. Some people think it's weird. It's actually a very minority who think that, which kind of means that they're outnumbered. It means they are wrong, because it's actually very effective, especially combined with Lux's passive, which of course affects that enemies that have been hit by Lux's abilities gain a well, I simply call it like a light bulb on them, which causes that the next basic attack that hits them actually, well, does bonus magic damage. Combine that with Lich Bane and you do quite a bit of damage. So it's at the moment it's 2 versus 3. It's actually 2 versus 4, considering Kha'Zix is waiting up for a good gank. We do know that he's there though because of the blasted, because of the ward. I said blasted because this is what I meant about Yi being bullshit. He does nothing more than mostly just backdoor in this game. He's not really involving himself in the team fight. I took a bit of a kill steal there. I decided we're gonna go rip on their enemies. So that's pretty much what I mean, that Fiddlestick's ultimate along with that of Hecarim creates quite a dangerous predicament for them, because they basically either, it can actually work for or against them. They can run into the ultimate, they actually keep running through continually on through into the ultimate, or they run out of it. But most of the time the AoE is quite big, so they stay within range. They just can't do anything about it. They gain control, so they basically just, well, you know, get torn to pieces. So we got a good ward coverage on mid lane. We also already have Baron warded. We only actually pick up Baron once during this game. We do to a couple of dragons. Their team barely does. I think 1 or 2 times. I think actually we did 2, but besides that. So yeah, as you can expect, Twitch is going well. If I would recommend myself though, if I was playing Twitch ever, I would actually ignore a little bit more on damage and more focus on getting that deadly venom thing first. So we're focused on attack speed first and damage later, because, well, his damage output actually comes quite well from his damage over time. So applying those snacks as quickly as possible actually gives Twitch quite a bit of an advantage. So you just missed his alpha strike on everyone. On hitting any of the champions. So what I basically am doing, what I'm building, I've already got a Trinity Force, which is good, which works well on Hecarim, and I'm already building up for a Ravenous Hydra. At the moment it's going to be built into a Tiamat, and then later into a Ravenous Hydra. Why the Ravenous Hydra? I just decided that it would work well. It's not recommended or even required, because basically, well, you don't need it. This unfortunately turns out a bit weird. The engagement didn't go well. I lost my ultimate. I'm not sure. Twitch gets out of it. I'm not sure about Lux. Actually, come to think of it, no, Lux didn't survive this because of the slows, and then Vayne, of course, with her passive. Unfortunately, she was unable to get out of it. We do pick up a kill on Kha'Zix. This is unfortunately when I do get torn to pieces by those two. We do grab Vayne. Phase goes down as well. That just leaves, of course, Yi, who is backdooring again, as he's always been known and infamous for. And, well, Nidalee was completely useless, actually, as far as I can understand. I do not know how their routine was reacting to this. As you can see, we can't, of course, see team-specific chat. It just kind of... I don't think they were always that pleased with each other, because they weren't doing that well, especially Yi with his constant backdooring. Now, if you had a Yi that could really tear through those turrets like hell, it would be useful, but... or if their team was just constantly keeping us in focus on trying to push a lane, which we can't. And split pushing isn't always possible if you're not doing it correctly. This is unfortunately when we do not lose our Twitch, and he completely stealth jukes them. That's just what is good about Twitch. That's his only form of escape, but it's a good escape if it's able to trigger. So of course the stealth needs some time to actually kick in. It's weird, but it's understandable. If it was an instant stealth, it'd just be too powerful. And also, of course, after the stealth breaks, you gain increased attack speed. But of course, it's not the main focus. Of course, the first ability you should max out first with Twitch is this one, which is Expunge, which causes you to... We can actually simply read it out. Deals 8 physical damage plus a certain amount based on your attack damage and ability power per stack of Deadly Venom to all nearby affected by Deadly Venom. So it's quite useful if you've been able to apply Deadly Venom to a lot. This works, of course, quite well with of course Twitch's ultimate, which is Spray and Pray, which causes that his basic attacks actually penetrate through multiple targets, which allows him to apply Deadly Venom to more than one target. So you can see here, most of their team is, well, most of their team, no correction. Their entire team is hanging around. This is actually starting to be a little bit funny. As you can see, there are awards of both our team and their team in this brush, so we can see each other from across. So this just turns into everybody just spamming their skill shot at this direction, which of course makes me completely useless. So I decided to just go a little bit of farming. But I do decide to stick around just in case a team fight starts off. So unfortunately I did walk through a niddly trap, or well, yeah, it was me, which of course caused that they could see us. So this is when, excuse me, I'm not bored, just, I don't know, maybe I am bored, who cares. So Fizz makes his escape. This actually shows a bit of lack of priority by me. I think I'll go after Nidalee, but then I decided, like, fuck it, I'm going after the others. So Fizz made this stupid decision to actually stick around there. I engaged, I feared the Nidalee, and we killed Kha'Zix. Fizz did get it off his ultimate, but so did Lux, and she hit it. So bye bye Fish Boy. So that's again, of course, Vayne and Nidalee there. He thought he could engage. He made the big mistake. Unfortunately, his ultimate has a higher attack speed, has a higher movement speed increase than mine ever will. Which is not, of course, an ultimate, so it's much more spammable, but still, it's unfortunate. That apparently a centaur with 4 legs and quite a bit of speed is not as fast as one dude with 2 legs, with a ridiculous amount of goggles on his face. So this is when we picked. This is actually the first dragon kill in the entire game, which is, if you think about it, a bit sad because we should have picked it up way sooner already. But we never really saw the opportunity for it, so yeah, pretty much. So what else have we got? Well, we got another ring. So I decided to stick around with Twitch. So Twitch is going to build an item which is very, well, not one that you see at all on an AD carry, but of course there's a reason behind it, which I will mention once it's been built. I want to keep it a little bit of a secret, shall we say. So he's trying to backdoor again. He fails, unfortunately, because, well, Lux was busy with the blow, so she's around. So Yi had to run away like a little bitch. One thing I do have to say about our Lux, he plays more than just Lux, of course. It would be a bit stupid if he only played one champion throughout the entire game. He does play the likes to play female champions mostly because he's a bit of a pervert and likes to check out the pixelated boobies. Apparently, is that he still doesn't have any boots, not even level 1 boots, no boots of speed. This means he's very slow and trying to escape is almost impossible for him. So we just made a very bad engagement there, which resulted in both me and the AD carry getting completely ripped to pieces. It was a 4-on-1 though, 4-on-2 actually, so it shouldn't be surprises that we lost. It was a bit of a stupid engagement, but it happened. So they now have a little bit more breathing room. As you can see again, we're not even ahead by 1k gold. So, like I said, excuse me. Ugh, Jesus, apparently I do think this game is quite boring. Which means, of course, that we now lost our tank and one of our major damage dealers through burst damage. Luckily, of course, Fiddlesticks is making it up very well. He knows how to build Fiddlesticks jungle. I barely ever play Fiddlesticks jungle, so I wouldn't know anything about that. I haven't played Fiddlesticks in quite some time now. A long time. Months at least. So, as you can see, I decided to scare away the bug. The bug dukes me and actually sticks around. This is when it turns into an engagement. Fortunately, I have not my ultimate. And this turns into us getting torn to pieces again. It did result in an ace for them, but they did die. We actually only score 1 ace throughout the entire game because, well, Yi's never around when they want him. I don't know if it's that he's not around when they need him. And he has an knack for keep picking up the blue. He's not that much of a team player, basically. So as you can see, they're now ahead in turrets. We have only been able to push a turret on each lane, while they have of course pushed both two turrets on 2 lanes. There's only 1 left in the lane, and then of course our plateau turrets, but they were not doing that well still. Or better said, we weren't doing so well. As you can see, we're now running behind. We're not, of course, doing anything stupid necessarily. We're just getting caught out of position a little bit. But this is when we do make it up a little bit. With the increased attack speed, we were able to pick up a Kha'Zix. As I said, Fiddlesticks plays a very nifty little game here. I'm not familiar who this guy is himself. He's not one of the people I know. He's good though. He's very good as this Fiddlesticks. They do make a few. The team though makes a few mistakes with this Fiddle, which is constantly focusing him down because of his AOE. He's actually sometimes gives us quite some breathing room to do whatever we want. I decided not to engage the Yi. So, again with the Yawning. Apparently I find this game extremely boring for some reason. So Fizz failed in landing the ultimate. He actually had it more than once. This kind of proves the point. So Fiddle had a bad engagement there. Just couldn't win this. This is unfortunately when Sona almost bites the dust. As you can see, Twitch has built himself a chain vest. So you might be thinking, oh, he's going for Guardian Angel. No. He's not going for Guardian Angel. He's going for something different. And you'll find out eventually what that is. But not right now. So I see, oh crap, so I immediately activate my E just to run away. Seems stupid, but it makes sense because, well, I'm not gonna engage 3 guys on my own. That's just suicide. It's stupid. Apparently I'm either yawning because of lack of sleep, which I doubt, or I need something, or I need some grub. But I'm first gonna finish this recording. So Fizz has been taken care of a bit. We didn't make an engagement. We didn't make an engagement out of that because, well, we basically couldn't. We were lacking our Fiddle, and we need our Fiddle. I don't know who's pinging this. It's either them or us. It's not very important. Do know is that Fiddle is trying to prepare to, of course, trigger his ultimate. So this is when we do notice them again. We do know that the Venus, of course, was in this brush. Lily is trying to escape. She does. It's no big deal though. What we do see now is the possibility, maybe, perhaps, to pick up Dragon, which does happen. Or maybe not. So this turns into an engagement. Can't remember how this. It didn't went well. At least not for me. It ends up in this area like this. The mid laners killing each other. So Vayne thinks she can win this. Which actually she doesn't. She got feared. And then she got torn to pieces. And Italy is completely blind and cannot hit a spear from 2 inches away. 10-minute fear. Longest time in your life. So Twitch is trying to push on top lane. I don't think he succeeds. What I do achieve though is getting my Ravenous Hydra. There in Italy is doing again with the yawning. Sorry guys. You're just gonna have to live through that. Better said I should. So Fiddle's doing everything he can to keep the bot lane minions from, well, pushing. At least their bottom lane minions. So you might be thinking, where's the tankiness in Hicker? To be honest, he's more tankiness. He can be quite tanky if you know how to build him right. I prefer to build him a bit as a bruiser. He's quite effective as a damage dealer as well. I'm still more tanky than that little bastard of a Kha'Zix. I don't remember having those things. I think this must be the fact that I'm using frames to record, and then some of the utilities of LoL replay don't work out that well. So that didn't turn out well. We didn't engage. Nobody died, of course, but still. Considering that Twitch lost some health, it's just not good. Good for business. So we lost Fiddle there. It was a bit unfortunate, of course, but Fiddle isn't that tough after all. Only if he's able to drain health, he becomes a bit more tougher. And that's actually only on the front of him regaining health, of course, and nothing else. So what else have we got here? So, well, Italy only actually lands her spears when we're huddled together. So, this turns into quite the little, yeah, I gotta put this, sticking around. We get stuck on our plateau quite a bit. They don't really kill us here at all. G thinks he can do it with his puny little lightsaber. He doesn't though. To be honest though, there's only one Yi skin that I actually like. So I'm pretty sure that, yeah, he already built it. As you can see, he Twitch. I kill steal right there. Twitch built the weirdest kind of defensive item for a AD carry, which is Thorn Mail. So why Thorn Mail? So she exhausted me. Wasn't the smartest move. Fiddlesticks, of course, shut down Yi, and I kill Fizz, which made me feel real good about myself. Now, top lane is being incredibly pushed at the moment. We lose that turret, but we pretty much don't care anymore because, well, we can finally put some pressure on them again. I needed to regain some health because I've, well, lost a lot of it. So I go to the bot lane to try and, of course, get rid of those minions and prevent any more pushing. Still, our Lux hasn't built any form of boots, which is just, as I said, stupid. So that turret's down, and well, Fiddle is handling the matter on top lane. So I'm building up for a Aegis now. I've already got the Aegis. I'm going to, of course, expand that out to a runic bulwark. You do need to build a little bit tanky on Hecarim, because considering he actually early game has very low resistances, he's not that tough. You probably need to focus that more on items though, or runes. So I don't know why I decided to attack the red buff. So they grabbed their first dragon. I just decided to go have some fun with the golems, smack them out about a bit. Then I joined up with Twitch, and we moved together out. Again, as I said, Hecarim is quite effective if you know how to use him properly. Even I haven't fully perfected the strategy with him or the item build, but let's just say I'm doing better than I used to. It's like I said, if you're facing off against top laners who have some form of ranged effect that they can keep spamming, like for example Gangplank's is Parlay, or of course I think it is his Righteous Fury from, at least I think it's called Righteous Fury, right? Yeah, I think so, from Kale. You just can't get within range. Slowing effects is just the biggest issue for Hecarim. He loses his effectiveness. So he decided to engage there. I wish I could have helped with my ultimate, but I tried to save Lux by using my ultimate. I did save Lux, actually, but I didn't kill Yi. Dumbass. I don't know why I went that way. We lost Fiddle. We do kill Fizz. Oh yeah, this turned out quite well. the quadra kill, and our only ace throughout the entire game. This is actually, there's only 2 aces scored throughout this entire game by both teams. Considering we just scored the first one, I think you can gather who's going to make the next one. The biggest reason why we can barely score any aces in this entire game is because he now completely just gives up ever for showing up in team fights and just goes backdooring his entire life. So we're able to smack through this turret like hell, immediately focus on the inhibitor, tear through it, and we know we gotta go right now, get the hell out. So after just pushing an entire lane to the inhibitor, the best course of action in that point is grabbing Baron, which we did. Behold. The damage output. As you can see, we're going through it like hell. I decided to activate Spirit of Dread just to keep myself in a tanky situation. And that worked out quite well. We're tearing through Baron as if it is just a big worm. It is a big worm, but you get the picture. We have a good deal of now that we also the entire team got the Baron buff because Fiddle just respawned just in time to get it. So, as you of course know with Boots enchantments, what would you build on Hecarim? As I said, you still need, though, as you know, I've said before, Hecarim can be tough, but the first thing you do need to do is always still keep that movement speed in mind. This build is still not perfect, and I'm actually not fully utilizing the increased, of course, damage output that I can have on Hecarim with items. So, most people would say build a Zeal, or at least something like a Phantom Dancer, a Zeal, or a Trinity Force, because it gives you 5, this in case, 8% movement speed. But I know an item that actually is better than that, which is Zephyr, which actually gives you 10% movement speed. Increased movement speed, that is. So that's just a little bit better. Trinity Force can still be added, but I wouldn't because it just doesn't seem the effectiveness in it anymore. Also, of course, always grabs Boots of Swiftness on him, as well as instead of course grabbing Home Guard, go for the increased movement speed. Because to be honest, with that damn charge of yours, you can pretty much run the same. You can run for the entire length of the plateau, at least from turret to the edge, at about the same time as you would with Home Guard. Because the charge of Hecarim increases in speed over time, while Home Guard actually speed decreases over time. So she does survive this thanks to Bear. Never mind, she didn't. With a 600 damage basic attack. So we just smack on the turrets. This unfortunately does result into an unfortunate demise. I decided to just take care of Yi, which I survived the Ray of Doom. But then I get sniped off by Nidalee. And of course being Fizz. That asshole tore us to pieces and Nidalee grabbed that kill steal. Considering everything, actually, Sona lasts quite a bit. These two are just not that fast in tearing her to pieces. They think, yeah, we got her. Oh wait, no, we didn't. And then there's the second ace throughout the entire game. So they say push mid lane. Unfortunately, you still got super creeps to deal with. I guess Kha'Zix is the best choice, but he just up and ignores them. But I don't think he can solo that turret on his own. You need some minions for that, bro. And you're sorely lacking those. Well, at least allied minions. So, yeah, we got aced, but it still turns out quite well. Here's Fiddlesticks, of course, being as badass as always. Scaring the crap out of the bug boy over here. I'd be scared of him too, so. It is a, well, scarecrow from hell, basically. I come in, we all come in, and well, we start ripping those minions apart, and then we let the mid lane minions take care of the rest. Fiddle unfortunately does trigger the trap. Kha'Zix finally picked up his Bloodthirster, which he should have picked up way earlier because you just can't rely too much on those spikes. So what else do we get? Well, we get that. another dragon. So that's like the third dragon actually throughout the entire game. It's also the last one. It's kind of sad. And as you can see, we're not that far ahead. We're only like not even 3k ahead, which just means that we're not doing severely well. We've taken quite a pounding from these guys, considering. We're winning this actually, if you ask me, on a whim. Wait, no, that's not right. Not on a whim, but on a hairline. Well, by the skin of her teeth, if you ask me. It's only because of... To be honest, I'd say... If I would say the cause of their loss, I'd say it's Yi because he refuses to ever get involved in the team fights. They're lacking that amount of damage output because that's what Yi can do, both as an AP and as an AD. Because of his absence during team fights, that's basically the reason that they get torn to pieces. So, we decided to go set up a little ambush here. So the entire team showed up on top lane. They didn't know most of us. So we're all just sitting here in the brush. Well, almost all of us. We decided, well, Sona decided to use herself as bait. So there's 4 of them here. They see Sona, and they don't maybe realize, maybe the rest of their team is in there. They didn't, most of the time. And this turned out quite unfortunate for them. So, Vayne's trying to get away. I don't think she does. I decided to just go this way, along with 2 others. I just decided to actually up and ignore Vayne entirely. They do pick her up. As you can see, the snare lands, and here comes the damage output, and bye-bye. So, Yi's backdooring on bot lane. He's doing quite well, but unfortunately his damage output isn't compared to us. So... You could go back, which Fiddle and Lux do to keep him away. He tries to, of course, get the fuck out of there. I'm not. He doesn't succeed in getting away because he kills. And there's our victory. As you can see, this proves you don't need a lot of gold. You don't need to be a millionaire to be a victor. So, thanks for watching, guys, and see you later.